All right, y'all. So today we are here to do an epoxy review. So I'm going to start it off with showing you what I've got, and then we'll move on and do the different methods. I'm going to do it on a cup that is not glitter based. Then I've got another cup that is glitter based, and I've also got some molds. So we're going to use it in 3 different ways. We're going to test out all 3 ways, see how it goes, see how it works, and yeah. So, all right, so we are trying out, this is KS Resin, and it is the Liquid Art Ultra UV Epoxy. So this one should not yellow as quickly as others, according to what the website says. There's lots of things. People have issues because of the way it's being promoted. So I wanted to come on, do a no frills, shrills, whatever review, because I have no affiliation whatsoever with this company, and I just want to try the product, and I want to see what it does and how it does. So it also comes with a little information sheet in the box. Just trying to look over it real quickly. So I'm going to get this mixed and put together, and we will be back and let you know how that went. Alright, so now I have it mixed up and ready to go. I don't know if you can see, but there are a bunch of micro bubbles. Now, one of the things that people talk the most about when it comes to epoxies is smell and bubbles. Does it have a smell? Does it produce lots of bubbles? I also need to share that these bottles do come marked as resin and hardener, not part A and B, so that way you can actually tell which one is resin and which one is hardener because they're marked and defined. But anyway, so smell and bubbles. So right now, at the moment, there's lots and lots of little bubbles. I do see plenty migrating to the top. All right, sorry about that. I do see plenty of them migrating to the top, but we will see what it looks like in the end. Right now, I'm just going to kind of pull my popsicle stick out, and I'm just using items that are easy and readily available. So we've got the little mini shot glass and the popsicle stick. All right, guys, so now I'm going to take my epoxy and get it over top of this cup for my customer so that hopefully we get a beautiful glass-like finish. So now that the bubbles have mostly risen to the top, I believe I'm going to hit it one quick time. With my little heat gun there. And the smell reminds me of Alumilite before it got super strong, if that makes sense. Those of us who've used Alumilite for a while, you'll understand what I mean by that. It smells like Alumilite used to. So it's not super strong. Like, the package is pretty accurate. It's low smell. I want it covered. And I'm seeing as I'm moving it lots and lots of little bubbles coming up. I don't know about this, y'all. We will see. So I'm going to finish pouring what I have left here. across my tumbler. And then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. Oh, are we nearing the end? I do believe so. Right now there is lots of macro bubbles. They ain't even micro, they're macro bubbles. You can barely see them. But because it is a flat painted surface, you can see them more than what you usually would be able to. So let's finish cleaning off our hands here. And then we're gonna grab the heat gun. Go over it one good time. I mean, in my personal opinion, at this point, it's not really that much different than Illuminalight used to be. As far as the UV, I can't tell you. Now, I am going to do a separate review altogether, putting this resin to a UV test. And we'll see how that goes. But I am not affiliated with them or their company in any way. And that's why I wanted to do this and share it with you all, so that you could get an honest feedback and opinion. And I will tell you, it also says that it has a 45-minute work time. Now, I'm not so sure about that. Because I'm also noticing lines and ridges that refuse to lay down. That are refusing to lay down. So, I don't know. Yes, I did just take my wee little mask off. I do not condone anybody not using some kind of breathing apparatus. However, at this point, I wanted you guys to be able to really hear me over this thing because it is extremely loud. Yeah, there's lumps right there that are not laying down. I don't know about that. We'll come back in a couple hours, check it out again, see how we feel about it. Lots of the macro bubbles have popped. So at this point, it's looking pretty good. Pretty nice. Very shiny. I'm liking it so far. We will see how it continues to cure over the next few hours. We're putting it straight. This is the cup we're doing straight over top of the glitter. Now, I'm not doing the very bottom of this cup. I have this cup done to where the very, very bottom is not going to be completely covered. And then we're going to go up so we can kind of help this finish ombreing out. I did not put a clear coat over this because it does need a little help and love finishing, because that ombre is very solid in places and very not in others. So we're going to work that out as I show you how this KS resin Ultra UV goes over top of this cup. Now, I did particularly want to use this cup because this is also going to be a part of my 2-month trial situation. This cup is a gift to a friend of mine's daughter. And so I'll be able to watch it as it goes and see the progression of yellowing on the cup, if it does, how all that works out, and be able to show quality test results from that. So we'll watch it over an 8-week period, along with a couple of the other items that we're going to make, and see how that goes. So Got some more of these bubbles up here to the top. I'm gonna go ahead, use my heat gun one more time, blast them out real quick, and then we're gonna get started coating the glitter tumbler. All right, 10-4, good buddy, here we go. All right, so I do want to do most of the white this way because I don't want it to all turn blue. I just want to help move that ombre out a little bit. So I'm gonna go through and get a nice little layer going. All right, guys, so this is the first layer application for the glitter that I've got going on here. So far, it looks like it's got some pretty good coverage. I could have mixed a few more mLs. I wasn't planning ahead properly. My other cup didn't take as much, but I forgot that the glitter was going to soak in some of the epoxy, and so that kind of became a bit of an issue. But overall, I really like the way this is turning out. I'm going to hit it with heat one more time and let it spin for the evening, and we will come back, check on it tomorrow, and tomorrow I will make the molds and show you guys what they look like and how they turn out and all that good stuff. But so far, not too bad. As far as smell goes, I would compare it to a Limonite. It also has a super glassy finish. The other tumbler that I've done is really looking amazing right now. And so I'm super excited to see how this keeps going. All right, guys, we are back for our last little session here. We are going to fill these molds, at least as many of them as we can. I'm gonna start with the top line, try to do those, and we will see how it goes. I have already pre-mixed my epoxy. It is all ready to go. But for each, I want to do something slightly different. And we are going to be adding different variants. I've got 4 different cups. This one is a opal butterfly. So there's butterflies in there from Forever and Always Glitter. And then I put some blue mica. So we're gonna go ahead and get these going, and we do still have our cup turning back here in the background while we are working. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and set that there for a second and get these color. Ooh. So I just put teeny tiny little amount of the mica in here. We're finishing up our review on KS resin. We are using the Art Resin UV. So let's start this one here. Oh, come here. There we go. Capture all of our resin. I'm just gonna make sure we get it good and down in there. The bubbles seem to be releasing out of it right nicely. Now I'm gonna use the rest and fill this tiny little mold. It's like a little bitty round mold. My little rounds I'm gonna use for bow centerpieces. So we wanna make sure that we can utilize every single drop of our leftover epoxy. Waste not, want not. Alright, so right down into that mold it goes. So far it seems to be doing very well. Gonna bring it up close so you guys can catch a peek. Alright, so there's that one. Now we're also going to do a couple others. And when I'm doing my colored epoxy like this, if at all possible, I really prefer to mix it as I'm going. So this one has just a tinge of orange pigment in it. And then we've got some black sparkly shards. They're like black, silver, and white. Or maybe black, opal, and white. I'm not sure. Looks very pretty. Alright, so let's just... Nope. There's most definitely not enough in there to fill that. So we're going to add just a little bit more epoxy. So here's how this one looks. It's just got a little tiny tinge of the orange color to it, with those black shards. I think it's gonna be pretty. So I really like to try to always pour towards my little top piece there first with my molds so that I can make sure it gets around the little ring hole. So there's that one. And the bubbles are coming up right nicely. Yay, that means they're gonna pop easy. All right, so this one we've got a pink color shift. With pink and teal glitter. Ooh, y'all. And this is actually acrylic paint. It's pink acrylic shifting paint. So here's how this one looks. Very, very pretty. Just making sure we get it good and mixed in. And now we're going to dump it in its mold. Ooh la la, shawty. I'm loving it. Dun dun dun. And last but not least, I've got some, I think this is green color shift with silver paint, or silver glitter. We're gonna take the last of our epoxy and make sure we get all of it into this one. If we have any left over, that's okay. I don't think we will though, because I was pretty on point with my measuring. Except for on that first color, which it done a smaller piece. Probably could have done one of the bigger pieces instead, but it's all good. So I hope you guys are enjoying this review. I really, in no way, I don't have an affiliate code. I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted to try the resin and share my thoughts and opinions on the resin, giving you my honest feedback. And so far, the mixing consistency, it's pretty good. It is going to be a little thicker for those of you who are used to thinner epoxies. But as far as the density, for me, it's right on target with the others that I've been using. So I guess that doesn't really bother me any at all. The way it cures, I'm really loving the glass-like coat. It looks, you know, I only went over it with heat to get it to move on this one, and the same thing on the other one, and it's turning out pretty flawless. Like, the black one doesn't even have a cover over it right now. And it's still looking pretty doggone gorgeous. So I would have to say that, I mean, I can understand what the hype's about. It works well. It does its job. Now on our 2-month test, we'll see how the whole UV thing works out. Don't know about all that just yet, but we will see. All right, so now I've got all of my pretty green and silver mixed up. That was just a spur of the moment whim decision to put those together, and it's really pretty. Let's see if we can get some of these large bubbles out though. because there are quite a few in here. There we go. All right, so now I'm just gonna get my mixing stick emptied, and straight into this one it goes. Super smooth, so it shouldn't have a problem getting around the little top piece there. It's not, oh, I tossed that one, I wasn't ready to yet. Ba-dum-dum-dum. Give me the plain one, there we go. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna knock it. I really have enjoyed working with it to this point. It doesn't really, after you get, I will say this about the odor. After you get the epoxy mixed together, it's the hardener that smells so bad. Or that has a smell. Doesn't even smell super bad. It's the epoxy, or it's the hardener. So once you get it mixed and the chemical reactions going on, you kind of sort of don't smell the epoxy anymore. And I'm a person who has breathing problems, carry an inhaler kind of thing. And it's not bothering me. I haven't noticed any changes in my breathing issues. They haven't gotten any worse. Of course, they ain't gonna get any better because of epoxy, but you know. So, I gotta blow the bubbles. So, give me just a second. That's how I do my bubbles. I just take a lighter to it. I get them all the time on a discount or with coupons. And so I will store them in my craft room for this purpose. So, double checking. All right, guys, I do not take the heat gun to these. We don't heat gun them at all. So we got 4 little keychains and 2 cabochons out of 1 ounce of epoxy. So I'm going to take these and put them in the box, and then we will discuss my full review of KS resin. Alright guys, so all in all today we used 3 ounces of the KS resin. I was trying to think of, it's Liquid Art Ultra UV. That's going to be one to remember. We've used several ounces so far. And my thoughts that I want to cover with you guys are the smell. So the smell to me is after you get the resin mixed together, there's basically no smell. Then it's just kind of up until that point where you'll smell the hardener a little bit. Now with curing, so far both of the actual tumblers that I've done seem to be curing beautifully. Very glassy finish. It seems like right now on the white and blue that it is already getting a more glass-like coat on the first, or glass-like finish on the first coat versus my amazing clear cast or the Envirotex. So, and if you'll notice, which I've had it for a minute, it's got kind of a yellowish color to it. Now, I don't know if it's something on the bottle or what, but to me it feels like all of them just seem to have it end up with a yellowish color. But so far, I've only had these for a few days. They haven't turned colors on me or anything, so we'll keep up with that in the 2-month episode, because during that time, I will actually go through and finish the entire bottle of KS resin, or both bottles of KS resin, and be able to give a good, solid, sound background on my experience of using them during that whole 2-month time. So, with them saying that they're crystal clear, I would definitely have to agree my coat is coming out on both of these tumblers super clear, especially on the black one. That was the one that I wanted to watch a little bit more for making sure that it was super clear, because I didn't want it to mess with just that painted coat any at all. And with the doming capabilities, that's one of the things that I noticed with the mold, which I probably should have showed you. The round shape that I'd done, I over poured it a little bit and it domed instead of just spreading over top of the mold edges. Try to touch in 12 hours. We will know in just a little bit. I had no problem with working time. Now, I will tell you that I did notice when we were mixing in the different colors and the different glitters and things for doing multiple cups, it was super thick, super easy. So that's something you're going to want to watch and be aware of when using it. Speaking from my experience, was that if you're trying to drape it back and forth across your cup, you're going to want to work quickly if you're adding things into it. So I think, especially with a lot of epoxies, that reduces the working time for those, for the epoxy that you're using. All right. So I think that about covers everything that I've seen questions on. The cure seems to go beautifully. I won't know more on that till tomorrow, but we are going to go ahead and close out this video. Just make sure that you if you're going to use it, take note of some of the things that I had mentioned, just because that was thoughts that I needed to work through on. Each epoxy works differently, and you work with it differently based on how it works. So that's something that I was keeping in mind through the process of working each different style. So like when I was doing the colors and the glitters in it, I was mindful and did not. That's part of the reason that I never mix all of my things at one time, because you never know what's going to happen and if it's going to cause it to thicken up quicker with another chemical reaction being added in. So just my thoughts for you. But that's it, guys. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and this review of KS Resin, and see you guys in the next one.